like 5 seconds. We were
Very
relaxing.
quick.
Okay, so I have been saying her name wrong. It's Donna Meller. And you say it Meller, Donna?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we are so excited to have her with us on the show today because there's so many. I finally got to meet her. I've heard about her from 5 different sources, I think,
Okay.
and not gotten a chance to meet her, but heard about this amazing person who has this amazing method that people who are studying to take the big BCBA exam should do this course that she has,
Right.
Because she's part of Pass the Big ABA exam. So, Donna Meller, welcome to the show. Let's talk about what this is. What is Pass the Big ABA exam?
Well, first of all, thank you for that lovely introduction. That's very sweet. I would like to add that I am a co-founder of the company with my partner, Priya Runyon. And we basically, about 7 years ago this May, were having lunch together and kind of talking about our friends who we consider to be really terrific clinicians who were having a really hard time passing the exam. And we were trying to sort of understand like what was not what was so difficult, because we knew firsthand how difficult it was, and we both had studied pretty hard for it. But you know what was going on, and Priya had an interesting experience because she was also a licensed marriage and family therapist. And so she had gone through different standardized exam experiences in addition to the board exam in applied behavior analysis. And we had obviously both taken other standardized tests. So we started talking about things that worked for us and the things that worked out there. And through this conversation, we learned that we both had very different studying styles and methods and different types of learning styles as well. You know, Priya is incredibly intelligent, had been in the field for a long time. So when she took the exam, she was already coming from a psychological background, and that was her whole life. My life was a little different. As you know, Shannon, I was an actress. So for me, even though I had a master's degree and I had a bachelor's degree and I had a lot of academic life, you know, I was still a little more right brain. Anyway, we sort of combined these differences and started to help out a couple of friends here and there. And from this experience, we were having lunch one day and said, you know, let's just put together a prep course that sort of amalgamates all these different processes that are out there, sort of a multimodal idea where you're being lectured, you're taking weekly mock exams, you're having reviews, you know, interactive reviews where someone, just as I'm speaking to you now, except this was all in person at the time even, is, you know, explaining the questions and saying, you know, the reason it's answer A is because of this, and the reason it's not B, C, and D is because of this, and then allowing students to ask questions and to sort of interact and say, but I thought it was this, and I thought it was that, and sort of putting all that together, as well as giving them a study protocol, so how to study, an organized study method with sort of a curriculum like you do in school, which most of the people that we knew that were having a hard time were straight A students, so it wasn't like they weren't, you know, academically minded or something. So anyway, we put all this together, including, you know, using really big flashcards, which we thought would be used as visuals, trying to sort of promote the idea of stimulus salience, which is a behavioral term that essentially means that if something is more meaningful to you aesthetically, visually, you're going to remember it better or learn from it better. It's going to attract you. So put all these ideas of stimulus salience and interactive and structured curriculum together and put it on a website that actually I built on something called Vistaprint. It was a very ambitious moment in our lives because we didn't really know what we were in for. We were just like, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. And sure enough, the results came out. And as usual, there's panic in our community because as the statistics show, a large number of people don't pass and an even larger number if they've already sat for the exam. And so we got calls and, we had no marketing, no advertising, just a, dinky little website, but people found us. And that first cohort, we had about 20 students. It was all interactive. So we had a few in a conference room in West Los Angeles. We had another conference room in 3 parts of town. We did 3 parts of Los Angeles, essentially, or Southern California, I should say. And, the method worked for a lot of those people. And, of course, it was so trial by error that we also learned a lot about, that experience. And we added things and changed things. And from that initial process was born what is now our ABA exam prep workshop, which is either a 5 or 6 week workshop in which students are assigned a certain amount of studying material weekly. They take a mock exam. They meet every week of that 5 or 6 week experience with me or my partner Priya. We teach, we're the only instructors for the classes, and we go over all those mock exams just like we did in those live classes. And then during the week, again, they've got this structured protocol. Plus, we have access to the instructor, so they can email us and call us and ask us questions. We've just added this other addition where there's an additional office hour every week where they can, where the instructor posts about an hour and a half to 2 hour meeting, and everybody can come and just ask random questions, less structured, so they can get rid of the panic of I don't understand this or I don't understand that. And the classes are extremely interactive, which is a lot harder to maintain now that we're online, because in person you can you get the feedback from the faces. People look confused or frustrated, so you kind of go, hey, you look confused. What can I do? Can I help explain it a little better? So now that they're bigger, because in an online course we can have almost an unlimited amount of people. It's nice to when the students interact with us as well, because it reminds us there's people there, and then they ask us questions. And that's that was a really long-winded answer. I'm sorry about that, but
it was great.
Covered a lot of points
but
we had.
It's a lot. It is a big program. We call it intensive and comprehensive, which those two adjectives sort of always surface when we're describing the program. And I'm sure I've left stuff out, but in any event, it was just it was taking some of those principles of applied behavior analysis and sort of shoving them into a 5-week or 6-week program.
So the course takes about 5 to 6 weeks from start to finish?
The courses take they're 5 to 6 weeks. Yes.
And one of the things that you've discovered through this is that you have some pretty awesome statistics about how successful you are at getting people to pass the exam. Talk to us a little bit about how successful you've been.
Well, that's such a funny subject. A lot of the success that I'm comfortable reporting, and I will give you statistics as well because our field is so data driven. But I want to disclaim that the statistics are extremely what's the word? They're hard to count on because there's a lot of extraneous and confounding variables that we're just not able to control for. We collected data on a random sample of 500 students last year, and excuse me. And in that process, what we identified was that we had a pretty reliable pass rate. So the total cumulative for that sample of 500 students was, and it was, like I said, a random sample, was an 83% pass rate for everybody who took the workshop. Of those 500 students, 254 were first-time exam takers. And remember, I mentioned earlier, if you're taking the exam for the first time, statistically, you have a much higher chance of passing. Of those 254, we had an 89% pass rate for first-timers. And although that is a higher pass rate than the board, it's not like we're competing with the board. They're not a prep course.
Right.
And then for retakers, we had a 76% pass rate, which again also is statistically higher. Unfortunately, what's very difficult to generate is the specifics, and also just this data was the most arduous process. So because people don't respond to surveys, especially once they've passed, or the only people that do respond are people that passed, right? So we didn't want to put something out there that didn't, accurately and fairly represent what we were doing on both ends, on the helping people pass, and as well as the unsuccessful attempts that people experienced after our workshop. So we really didn't want to put anything out there that was a misrepresentation, because also we don't really have a way to measure the learner's behavior because so much of it is self-driven and self-motivated. So even though they come to class and they take these mock exams, and we do get test scores from them, as far as how much they study, we don't know. How much they actually follow the protocols that we recommend, we can't know. And also, as far as, what their clinical backgrounds are, their academic backgrounds, there's just so many components that we don't have access to. So we don't make too big a deal about the pass rate. The thing I'd like to say to answer that question is our company has grown exponentially in a very short amount of time and continues continues to every cohort. And the reason is the word of mouth of our students. And so for me, that feedback, although anecdotal, I feel like is a better representation, a fairer and a more honest representation of the success of the effects of the protocols in the workshop. And of course, the other piece of it is that even those students that take our class and don't pass, many of them come back to us and send us, love letter emails saying, after this class, I really understand things so much better. I'm a better clinician. I'm aware of why I didn't pass because it was too ambitious an undertaking to jump in for just 5 weeks thinking I was going to be able to, acquire fluency in this huge amount of material in that short period of time, So for that reason as well, I feel comfortable in saying we do a lot of good for a lot of people. And of course, I love to be more data-driven than that, but it's dangerous territory.
I understand. I didn't mean to tread into that territory, but thank you for telling us as much as you did. But I think the biggest thing is for people who are like, okay, this is exactly what I need, where do they go?
Okay, so lots of places to go. They can go on our website, and that's lots of information, very comprehensive, which is passthebigabaexam.com. Thank you for putting it on the screen. And our phone number is there and everything. We have an incredible staff of people that are happy to talk to you and answer your questions. If you feel like you want to talk to me or Priya, because we're both BCBAs and you just want advice, and even just to sort of figure out if this is the process for you, because obviously any process is not for everybody. Just give us a call or send us an email, and we're happy to chat and give you more info.
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
So if we have 2 more minutes with you, I just got to say, how did you go from being a Broadway performer star, and we see the Les Mis, I said before, you're an actress and done many things, and I was saying to Nancy, she was just in a little show called Les Mis, right?
On Broadway.
On Broadway, no kidding. But how did you go from that to being a BCBA?
I don't know. I don't know. It was an interesting experience. While I was doing Les Mis, it was sort of a luxurious job because it's a stable job as an actor, which you don't have a lot. Those opportunities are far and few. But I went to graduate school. I did not study applied behavior analysis. I fell into it years later. But I was doing graduate school during the day, performing at night. A 2-year master's took me about 10 years because I took a lot of breaks to work and act. And then I came back to Los Angeles after 9/11. I'm from here, and met a friend from childhood who had started a company, and somehow it piqued my interest. I knew nothing about it except the sort of superficial stuff that's covered in graduate school, and that was it. I mean, I studied psychology, so I wasn't unfamiliar, but I didn't have practical experience, and I started on the front lines like most of us, and as the more that my career progressed, the more I realized this is something I'm really interested in, and one thing led to another, and about 16 or 17 years later, here I am.
Wow.
Well, good for we're very
good for
fortunate.
us.
Yeah,
good for us.
To have you in the field.
What that is. Yes, and you're obviously you have such a light about you in everything that you do, and bringing that to helping people pass this test is just an amazing thing. I have to say that there are so many people at CARD who say such wonderful things about you behind your back and about this course.
That's how I like it.
They speak so highly of you that when I finally got to meet you, I was like, oh, you're the woman that they keep talking about and how amazing you are in prepping people for this test. But not just that, but how amazing you are. So we want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing, because heaven knows the world needs more BCBAs. We're
trying. We sure do need more.
I appreciate that more than you know.
Thank you so much,
So
Donna.
Passthebigabaexam.com. You guys go there, check it out. It is the thing that will help you to get this done. If you know somebody who is getting ready to take the exam, and I know if you push them on over there, because this will save time and money by taking this course. Thank you so much, Donna, for being with us.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And I'm telling you guys, you have to Google her,
Right.
and see her sing, and it will send shivers down your spine. She's the most fabulous performer.
So she's multi-talented.
Multi-talented. so amazing.
Okay.
You can see she's just a,
Yeah.
you know, that
Right.
kind of open energy
Right.
that, you know, and talking about teaching people in a way that gets their interest. I mean, hello.
Yeah,
Uh, she's amazing.
she is.
So pass the big
Pass the big ABA exam.com.
I heaven
Pass the
knows.
big ABA exam.com.
Okay, so check it out, you guys, because
Okay.
it's really, truly fabulous. All right. We have like a minute and a half, so
Okay.
I wanted to take just a
You
minute
want
and
to talk about tomorrow's show?
So
Or
yes, I do, and you got to talk about the run, right?
Yes.
You have the run coming. You talk about that first, and then
okay,
I'll
we
tease
have
tomorrow.
our big Active Day for Military Families, Autism Care Today for
Yes.
Military Families run and festival coming up on April 20th.
Yes.
And we want everybody to go to our website at act-aday.org and get
Yes.
involved with that.
And keep in mind that it's in the most beautiful place on the face of the earth at
Tecolote Shores, San Diego.
So beautiful. But if you can't be there, because we can't all be in all places at the same time, right? You still can run virtually.
You can run virtually and you can support a team.
Exactly. So you start a team and you have people make donations and tell them what that money donated goes towards.
It goes to military families with children with autism because they have some very special challenges that we
Yes.
decided to focus on.
We know that the prevalence in military families for some reason
Is higher.
And we know that they face unique challenges because they have to move sometimes every 2 years.
On average, every 2 years. That's the average for a military
Imagine,
family.
you guys, you know, you get on the waiting list and you're just inching your way to the top of the list. You
Right.
start your services and then it's time to move again.
No, it's just really
Or
difficult.
imagine that mom or dad or both of them are deployed for a period of time and the stress that is. We need to do right by our military
do.
families and our military families that have autism in their families. So this is a great way to do that. You can run virtually and it's a fabulous thing to do. Have a little fundraiser and, you know, don't get caught up in the, well, I don't know if my friends will donate, right? If you end up running virtually or otherwise, and if you raise $10, that $10 along with my $10 and somebody else's $10 is the difference in a person's life.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah.
So make sure that you guys, where do they go? What website?
They go to act-aday.org.
Okay. And get ready for that. But
Yeah.
if you can be there in person, it's a really
It's
fun
fun.
time. Now, tomorrow on the show, we've got a big show. We've got an autism expert who's going to be here to answer some of your questions. But we have some powerhouse guests. We have a mom and her daughter that are going to be on the show, and I'm going to let them talk more about themselves. But this is a mom and a 12-year-old daughter who is just doing amazing things.
What are they doing?
Well, she is a budding, I think, YouTube star.
Okay.
And she is leading a life that is a really cool thing that I think people are going to get really excited about.
Okay.
I want her to talk about herself, so I don't want to tease too much.
Okay.
But you're going to love meeting this young woman. And then I have a gentleman who's going to be on the show who's part of an organization called the SIG, which is a special interest group that's part of ABAI. So it's mainly practitioners that have a special interest group for autism, and they make recommendations to ABAI, which those are the BCBAs. We just talked about the Board Certified Behavior Analysts. And he's going to talk about some of the different things that they're doing, and I think you're going to find it really interesting. He is a very dynamic young man. Justin Levy, I believe is his last name. So all of that is going to be happening tomorrow, plus we'll do our mindfulness moment and maybe an autism in the classroom moment. So
All right. Sounds like a big show.
it is a big show, and now we've gone over time, but it was
Okay.
worth it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me.
And yourselves a hug from me.
Bye-bye for now.